And on that, we're going to say hello, everybody.
That's how we do this now, huh?
I think that's probably...
It's kind of like a rolling start. You know how the drag strip, they do the lights, and you both start at the same time. In this, we're just going to do a rolling start.
Yeah, for those of you that, well, since nobody's here yet because we just started, if you happen to have questions about the first joke that came up, you can ask Josh about.
I've got a question.
Was that actually recorded?
No.
Everybody listen.
The Sound
to
of
Josh's
Music joke
keychain.
didn't come out, but you can ask Josh about it, and he'll be happy to tell you about it.
I got a good joke. It's sports related, and it's not about the Cubs. Can someone tell me how golf is more exciting to watch than NASCAR?
I don't know. All I know is yesterday Nick sent me a text saying they're on the 6th. I don't even know what it was. You were so excited. The sixth playoff.
Six straight
Okay,
playoff, sudden death playoff, 6 holes.
Who ended up winning that?
What's hilarious about
Can't
is I was so bored yesterday that I was watching that.
He knows. He knows I'm right. It was goddamn exciting.
I didn't watch it.
And the other night you had NASCAR on, and I kept asking you when do they start the race? No, they did. This is it.
I gotta say, it is beautiful.
The whole thing looked like a yellow flag. I didn't understand.
Dude,
and Rob keeps telling me this super speedway.
But see, you missed it because they had the big wreck and they only had 8 cars finish.
It is few and far between.
I had to stay up till what time?
For me,
It was the last 5 laps. I actually, during the caution when they went to caution, I drove home.
Under caution? You drove home under caution.
And watched the rest of the race.
Did you make a pit stop?
No, but I made it home plenty of time to see the start of the race, the restart of the race.
It's just, I was legitimately sitting there stuffing my face watching the sudden death golf tournament.
So it just sounds awesome.
So DeChambeau
it's like
didn't
a
win.
Beggar Vance movie or something.
So DeChambeau didn't win. That's disappointing. I kind of.
No, but he hits the ball really hard. I will tell you.
DeChambeau is cool. It's just, that last little hit to the green.
Yeah.
All right, so
muffed it in the rough.
Let's kind of get it back onto the show, maybe.
Yeah, that's enough sports.
So I have tonight what am I drinking now? My palate cleanser. I am doing the Bell's Oktoberfest. This is a little damage on the label. I figured I'd get it out of the cooler. Generally, Bell's does a good Oktoberfest. I haven't had this one yet, and it is coming up on September, so that's now classically Oktoberfest time.
Nice. I'm going to crack the top on mine here. Listen up. Crank up those headphones. There's a relief in a noise. I got Neon Giants here. This is a collaboration, Firestone Walker with Ommegang. So a little East Coast, West Coast here. Brew with New Zealand Tops, astronomically hazy IPA. Oh,
hazy
boy.
IPAs.
That thing is hazy. I almost did this as my taster tonight. Aren't you glad, Josh?
Nah, I'm cool with whatever.
I'll let everybody see the can. Pretty cool can. Tons of colors.
Oh, man,
1 pint, 6.5 ounces. Oh, it's actually 1 pint. What?
Yeah, that's
What
like
amount?
in a glass.
Oh, it is. It's straight up 16 ounce. I thought they were saying Anselm. Tropical fruit aromas warp your brain around this. Okay. It's really good. It's refreshing. It kind of does that thing that hazy does, where the bitterness, the sweetness, the flaked, they all kind of come together. It's doing it really well. I should say the hop profile on this is insane. They've Mosaic, Citra, Cashmere, Simcoe, Amarillo, Idaho 7, Azuca, Nelson Swabine.
So did they have to put all that in there to make it good?
It's funny to me because you've got a brewery from the East Coast known for doing Belgian-style beers, teaming up with a brewery from the West Coast known for doing specifically a die-hard, adamantly West Coast-style beers, producing an northeast, like New England style hazy IPA.
Ommegane's Cooperstown. It's like specifically Western New York,
But
like
they're
not
known
Northeast.
for doing, yeah. I mean, they're like if you say like
They do
New
like
York
some-
City, they're the ones that shoot you.
Yeah, they're closer. They're closer to wine country.
So,
Finger
Josh,
Lakes.
what do you got over there for your palate cleanser?
I've got the Bold Rock Honeycomb cider. I'm actually excited. I haven't had this before.
What do you think of it?
It is so surprisingly mild compared to some of the ciders that I've had from Bold Rock. I really don't hate it. Honeycrisp make great eating apples, but this is an example of how just because it tastes good when you eat it raw doesn't mean it makes a great fermented beverage.
So you're saying you don't really like it, or
No, I like it. It's just so subtle. Honeycrisp, when you eat them, are one of the more
Okay.
predominant like raw apples that you could find.
They're like sweet. They're known for like having this.
I thought it
Particular
was a
sweetness.
little understated too, as far as the flavor profile.
I think it's because they're apples that are better for eating versus fermenting.
Oh,
And there's a lot
okay.
of
I was just curious, like when you're talking about eating apples versus, I was like, what others are there?
Kind of how
Cider
if
apples.
you make wine from seedless white grapes, it does not turn out good.
No. So, speaking of
Doesn't
beer,
stop
though,
you from trying to do a cotton candy jug wine.
what do we have going on for the tasters tonight, guys? Because I know the wine is definitely going to be.
I've got a flavored brown ale.
I have an Imperial Pumpkin Stout.
Sounds like pumpkin brown.
You want to do pumpkin first?
I think that's probably the way to go, don't you?
Okay. It is an imperial versus a standard.
I just think the generally pumpkin's a little light on the flavor profile versus brown.
It's not the greater pumpkin.
I'm looking at Flying Dog. I'm guessing Sphere.
We can do whatever. Let's do it.
Pull out your keychain, Josh. You got a bottle here.
I got a opener over here if you want it.
I got one over here. I actually have two over here. And I'm
Is it gonna
carefully
float, Nick?
decide which one I want to use.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have it in floating status yet.
Yeah.
When I start floating the beers, I'll let you know.
All right.
Rob.
So who do we got here? We got Adrian,
Nice.
Eddie, Susan,
Nice.
Amy, and Joe.
Nice.
Ooh.
Amy, Joe,
Excuse
that's
me.
good. They said that. much.
Bob Clayton. Just put
Cheers.
that anywhere there, Josh.
Cheers. Can I get a new glass?
For those of you that joined us last week, you'll notice that Josh is awake this week.
Almost got his eyes open, too.
Adrian says hi.
Yeah, I actually was
Not
awake
drunk?
last week, but not. Well, you see, now
thanks for
you're
the setup
now,
on
now
that.
You're setting up questions that just entrap me, and that's just wrong.
Adrian, what she simply says hi.
Yeah, Adrian says hi. All right, so this is the first beer we're doing tonight. This is from Flying Dog. This is called the Fear, their Imperial Pumpkin Ale. This is what, $2.75 for a 12er? No, this is $3.50. That's right.
This is $3.50. This is a pricier beer from Flying Dog.
It is Imperial.
It's Imperial, and there's probably a lot of squash that goes into it.
Yeah, 9% ABV.
It's on the lower spectrum of the pumpkin beers we've got in house right now.
Actually, one of your favorite from last week's gone.
Oh yeah, the tropical beer hug.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not a pumpkin beer, but I'm just saying.
I got the last hug of that one.
of the pumpkin beers we have in. Like I was looking at them as we were coming in, they were like all imperial and strong, and it's like this is the weakest.
It's kind of interesting this year. Yeah, the pumpkin beers are
Because
all
nobody
showing up
wants
Imperial.
us. It's like, all right, well, let's quadruple the alcohol content, and maybe they'll drink them. All right.
So this does have your normal cinnamon on the nose, or not? Is it cinnamon or nutmeg that I'm thinking of? Nutmeg.
It's probably a little bit of both. Maybe a little bit of allspice.
Yeah, allspice. That's got it. That's it.
Because like
That doesn't mean just all the spices, does it?
no, it's not technically. It's like its own spice, but it does smell like cinnamon and nutmeg together. So if you have a recipe that calls for allspice, pro tip: use cinnamon and nutmeg.
Yeah. think
because they're all effectively the same color and grind and bought in the same place at the store, and you're not going to go wrong if you substitute any of them for any of them.
Definitely allspice.
Trinidad and Tobago are the home of allspice.
Grind it in a mortar and pestle, it's all
Okay.
the same.
So this jumped that Marzen from the Oktoberfest there. Man, that Marzen's gone out of the palate right now.
It's funny. I feel like it's built on like an Imperial Marzen though, like because I get some of the tones of a Marzen out of it.
So it's an ale, and a Marzen's a lager. Is that?
Yeah, so that's what was
Marzen
confounding
is
me.
technically a lager.
So
that was kind of tricking me there.
You've
Yeah,
got some more flavor compounds coming out from your ales because when you ferment at a warmer temperature, you extract different flavors from your yeast compared to the lagering of like a cold yeast.
maybe they kind of mimicking a Marzen with an ale.
I would be interested to have a pumpkin spice Marzen.
That would be fun.
This to me tastes like a dark brown ale with pumpkin in it. And pumpkin spice.
So it's
I love this.
It's
beer.
Imperial. I can tell it's got like
Yeah,
that percentage, but I'm not getting like a boozy override like
No.
you get with Imperial ales.
No, but it's hot.
Yeah.
I mean, you could like you
So the
said, you can
spices
tell
are
it's there.
the spices are kind of giving it
on
a
the
cloak.
back end, like the spice rolls into the heat,
Yeah.
so you end up just knowing, oh, I should probably stop at 2 of these.
Yeah, kind of like a chocolate covered jalapeno or something.
Yeah, like first one tastes good. You start on the second one, it's like, oh, maybe I should slow down.
Or whatever IPA Josh was drinking last week.
Oh, he just wanted the hug.
Yeah, he did. He just wanted
the
a
beer
hug.
hug.
Dude, I got.
Did you
hugged.
get beer hugged? Yeah.
Hey, I got the last one of those last night. I finished off the night with that, and I felt like I had a nice little hug.
Dude,
all
I got hugged.
the rest of the evening.
Yep, and so the fear is really good. I've always actually liked this one because I've had this multiple times over the years.
Adrian, who are you talking about that's so beer smart? Just wondering, because now she's ignoring us and having a conversation with somebody else. Okay.
Like via our chat board?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's good.
So, hi, Renee Walters. I didn't see you log in, but Adrian did.
That's maybe she's low profile. She didn't.
Adrian says all of us cool cats are beer smart. I'm gonna.
That's well said.
I'm going.
I'm gonna
that was a
second
good.
Adrian.
That was a good one there. But I'm gonna say that those two guys are the beer smart guys. So we'll get to my.
And this is coming
Revenue.
from someone who
Nick
enjoys some white wine in her
Yeah.
shop. So don't think she's leaving you out.
So this, I'm gonna say, this is the first of the pumpkin beers that I've had this year.
And I think, it might be for me as well.
Because I have not had the Greater Pumpkin yet, even though we've sold a heck of a lot of it, and I probably need to get one because it's getting ready to be gone.
I'll tell you this: out of the ones we got on the shelf right now, I firmly believe this one is like the best between price point and flavor.
I like this for the fact that it's like a nice sturdy ale with pumpkin seasoning. Like it's not like it's not like this fake beer with a bunch of spice. It's definitely not malted beverage with pumpkin flavors.
Okay.
Oh Jesus Christ!
This is beer.
Is White Claw gonna do a pumpkin seltzer this year?
Oh wow!
Because I'd love to get.
What do they
To
call
quote
it?
Adrian,
The
probably.
basic? Yeah, probably.
Oh, even though she wasn't talking about that one. But probably
They're like discussing who's picking up the kids at the carpool lane.
it wouldn't surprise me if R&D comes out with one that we'll have to get, since R&D is your favorite of the seltzers.
Look,
Dude, that thing was
anyone
really good.
who likes-
Isla is clean.
I
all
will.
right.
I will go ahead and say to anyone who's even remotely paying attention, if you like hard seltzers, the Isla Tropical that we have in, if you compare that to any of the hard seltzers on the market, like that's actually really good. Actually, pretty cheap.
Adrian says yes, White Claw pumpkin spice. I'm guessing you had it with the exclamation points there, or you're just excited at the idea.
Just saying, if you haven't had the tropical seltzer we have in there, it's really good for a hard seltzer. If seltzers are your dig, That's a good one.
Yeah.
Rob hates them. Nick will drink them.
Isla is nice.
I think. Oh no, Nick still hasn't.
Oh, do I?
finished.
Am I? You guys need me to drink?
Yeah, your beer's next.
Much obliged.
So that doesn't give me a good.
Look out, stomach! Here she comes.
Adrian says no, she doesn't know whether it's coming. She just wants to try it.
It's
I
Well said,
think
Adrian.
White Claw's done a pumpkin spice seltzer yet, but I know there are pumpkin seltzers out there. I've read about them.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to this.
I didn't know I was.
I forgot you told me you were doing that one.
Yeah, well, I
yeah,
pulled.
we talked about
I kind of pulled like a whole switcheroony on
Yeah.
you guys. Like I threw some distractions
Oh,
out there.
Switcheroni.
Yeah, the switcheroni. It's what to do when you're faced.
I have to say one thing about this pumpkin beer that I don't like. It won't let me belch.
What?
They're like really kind of wet, weak belches.
I will say I don't have
Are you-
carbonation
are you having-
level is as high
Are
on
you
that
having
one.
moist belches?
God, I know, right? Yeah, see, that wasn't very attractive. It wasn't a real belch.
Felt just
See,
as
no
good.
sign-in from Ms. Young.
No, none yet. She must be going to bed early
Parenting.
because of her training tomorrow.
Hashtag parenting. Adulting, parenting.
I can't.
It's not adulting. It's adulting.
He just adulterated that whole thing.
Hey, so you opening that beer, or are you just teasing us?
You kind of make nice faces when I tease you, so yeah.
I'm gonna go and drink my palate cleanser.
I don't know if that's going to cleanse what you're
Wow,
looking
they
for
called
to
this
be
brown
cleansed.
ale. You guys are in for a little bit of a surprise. I don't. They call it brown ale.
Well, oh bless you. Oh bless you.
Maybe I'm allergic to allspice. I don't know.
Or caramel.
I think he's allergic to my BS.
If you don't want me to have any, yeah. Dang!
I mean, that
Were
is...
you spewing more
that
BS?
is...
Holy crap!
I,
Do you need to go blow your nose?
I've been there. I've done that. You got to get
I got the
tickle.
vaccine for it.
Is this picking me up?
You
Hey, you
have
just
to-
sneezed into your mic.
You gotta get the snakes out of your nose holes.
What? Something's got me, boys.
Do you need to go blow your nose?
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna let Nick walk out of the room just for a minute.
Check in with this.
I'm going to tell you what we're drinking now. Nick's still sneezing. As soon as he opened this beer, he started sneezing. So perhaps there's something in here that has him allergic. I don't know. But this is the Edmund's Oast, not Oats, Oast. Chocolate Caramels Brown Ale. It's from Charleston, South Carolina. Edmund's Oast is one of our new we've got a lot of their product because they do a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of their stuff coming in. They do a phenomenal job.
Sours.
They showed up on the scene a couple of years ago.
Do they do an IPA? Because
I don't
I don't
know.
think
I
we've seen any
I
IPAs
mean, I
from
might
them.
have seen like an IPA or two from them in my times like traveling, but they have a relatively limited like production and distribution area. But all their product is good.
Yeah, it switched to burps. Oh, door 2 popped open.
Yeah, that happens.
They're one of the
I just
few,
think the spices kind of got my.
them along with Westbrook.
As soon as you crack this, man, must be something in the.
No, it wasn't even that. I think it was hitting me from the spiced ale. We'll find out.
Honestly, I applied more cologne, and Nick was not a fan.
Is it more Ducard Noir?
So
It's actually brute.
like I said, this is the chocolate caramels.
It's
It's a brown ale. It's a 5.8%, 16-ounce pint at where's the price on this guy? Oh, $4.75 $4.75 for 60-ounce pint. Quality normally, I don't think that's bad.
I'll tell you what. The first time I had this beer, I did not have it in a glass.
So this is a brown ale. However, look at the caramel color of it.
Brown.
Yeah, I think they're really pushing the caramel. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a whole batch of caramel in the
the little
brew.
backstory.
Oh, wow.
Did Brittany sign it tonight? Because this is for you.
I have not seen Brittany yet.
She said,
Adrian's the one holding the conversation right
and
now.
I
She's
quote,
keeping the. Hey, if any of you want to chat with Adrian, I don't want to ignore her, but she's got some good points
kind of
here.
chatty here. Yeah.
Talk to her. She wants to chat, and I'll chat with you. I'm going to get distracted.
And if 15 of you comment it, Rob will shave one of his eyebrows.
No, he won't.
I was just gonna say there's a customer who likes beers like this, and I think she bought one this weekend and said, "Hey, have you tasted this?" And I said, "I didn't get a chance yet," and that was just the truth. We caught a lot of new beers.
So that nose is really nice. It's just ever so slightly chocolate, and then the caramel. I mean, just kind of sits there.
I think that was off camera.
I'm familiar with that feeling.
Like I said, I got a vaccine for it, so.
They think it's the COVID.
Man, it's not COVID.
It's cool. I had a 2-minute sneezing fit, and suddenly
I'm pretty sure.
I'm the epicenter.
You're
I'm the super spreader.
You're the current super.
This guy's worse than a Category 4 hurricane.
It absolutely can't be that.
Wow. Speaking of Category 4 hurricane, thoughts out to all those people down there.
My heart goes out to Louisiana.
There was definitely
all of anyone that got.
I watched all the camera angles that the Weather Channel had that did not have their weather casters on there.
Yeah.
I was watching those for hours before they even picked them up on the Weather Channel.
Some of the videos you sent me.
Yeah, one of my buddies down there is a captain.
The guy in the boat was not having fun.
Yeah, he's a captain on one of those big tugs that goes out to the Gulf and pulls barges, resupply barges for the oil rigs. The night before, they beached this 80-foot tug on the sandbar in Terrebonne Bay, just south of Golden Meadows. And the front side of the storm came through. They went through the eye wall. It was okay.
Oh, man.
The back side of the storm came through. Water rose 15 feet in 3 minutes. All the windows in his deck house blew out. He had to pilot into the storm the rest of the time with wind blowing in on him, and all of his electronics were out.
I just remember seeing the video you sent, the wind and the rain just howling by 150 mile an hour sustained, and realizing I'm not a praying man, but I would pray to something.
He said in the front side of the storm that ships were anchored in the Mississippi River and were dragging their anchor and calling Mayday, and these were ships. So
that's intense, man.
Yeah, pretty nuts. Anyway, I'll be honest with you, what surprised me is even though there's so much loss of property, one loss of life is really impressive so far. That there hasn't been.
Give it 4 days. Well, the river's coming back down.
I want to knock on wood that they don't lose any more lives down there for that, because it could be really bad.
It's a lot different than when Katrina rolled through.
Yeah. So
maybe it's one of those we learned a little and made improvements. Maybe
they
really did.
Katrina, I think they really did. I think their big problem in New Orleans was they had a catastrophic loss of power, and then the pumps stopped working. So they did have some flooding, nowhere near what they did for Katrina, but because it was pumping probably until about 9 o'clock, I think, is when the pump stopped. So
that's pretty good.
I do feel like after Katrina, they had a moment where they're like, I don't care what we do, but it just can't be this.
Yeah, they dumped a lot of money into that.
I don't even care.
But back to the beer. Sorry to
I
bring
think
us off course.
that covers sports. That covers weather.
Yeah,
that's good. We're doing good.
So, Josh, you as normal cannot cover politics. So,
what do you mean?
It's
with sports weather, you can't do. Yeah,
No, I don't believe it.
I get like a chocolate coating. I don't really get like a lot of chocolatey.
I get the chocolate. I guess coating would be a good call too because it kind of comes in on the top of the palate and just kind of sits there. But
that caramel is
but
there.
it's very light.
I mean,
yeah,
it's
the
like
caramel
it's like
is-
a chewy
There's a
caramel.
picture of a Rolo on the side of.
Is it a Rolo or a Riesling?
That's
Or
not a reason.
not
It's not
a reason.
It's not a reason. It's a that's a
Oh,
Rolo.
okay, that's
definitely a Rolo. Unapologetically Rolo.
Which-
And a Rolo, when
The
you-
chocolate is kind of waxy.
It's just a chocolate coating for the caramel. Like, and just to give you like a hint of like, hey, there's some chocolate and caramel.
I'm with Josh on that.
dude.
It's
That's freaking awesome.
This is a really solid take on. They made the beer taste like the candy.
Once again, though, it's a beer. It's not just like one of these weird malted flavored beverages.
Gene Morgan, he just logged in and he's catching up the conversations. Dog days of August ain't pumpkin season where I come from. Well, we only have another day of August, and then we'll be into pumpkin season and Oktoberfest season. So,
Hey, Gene, good listen today. I listened to On Your Way Down. Just awesome Little Feat song. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
but Gene, this right now is not a pumpkin beer. This is from Edmund's Oast. This is the chocolate caramel brown ale, and it's pretty awesome.
I'm
The
digging it.
only thing I got, like, I can't knock him for saying brown out because it's just a hair too dark to be an amber or a golden. And it's like, I can't knock him because they're literally following the SRM chart for what to call this beer. This would not be called a brown ale by any other standard besides the SRM. And in reference to what is considered a brown ale. But this is like the base spectrum.
It would be like the beginning of brown.
Yeah,
Where brown begins.
and you know, listen, they've got it's caramel, so
Caramel is definitely where brown begins.
Yeah.
The fact that they're like legitimately paying that much attention to it to call it what it is just based on something that small or maybe something else.
he recognized Mr. Alan Toussaint and said R.I.P. Totally awesome song.
Yes. Yeah.
So he did catch your little acknowledgement.
Yeah, Alan Toussaint, man. Man, he's got a classic one.
Man, I like that. I'm ashamed I haven't had this before.
I can't believe you guys haven't had this one yet. I've had multiple of them at the house. Like, this is actually really good.
Sometimes sure, Adrian, by all means you can be. You can be a special guest if you like.
We covered
Just
this
one of
earlier.
you, though. We can't have the whole crew. I can't handle the whole mom squad.
None of us can.
Just one at a time.
I mean, y'all
It'd have
y'all
to
are
be
asking
outside,
a whole,
number one.
whole heck of a lot with that one. Now, Adrian would be more than welcome to come on here.
But you would have to try the beers, even though you're not a beer person. You would have to try the beers.
It's not a big challenge.
No,
Like,
it's not.
Oh, do you want to hang out on a cool show?
Do I want to save this? I'm going to save the rest of this for the rating because I really dig that. That is super good.
I'd kind of lean back a little, and I still think you guys got the aftershock on that one.
Oh, I guess it's my turn.
Oh, Rob, I'm glad you figured that out.
Wine time.
Guy who knows when it's his turn.
All right, so I just cracked the Stelvin. This is a European wine, and yes, they are doing Stelvins on European wines.
Yeah,
and not
especially
necessarily
in Germany.
Yeah, and not necessarily cheap wines. I mean, even the French are doing Stelvins, and they're actually boxing some good wine now. This is something I'm going to totally butcher, but it's Nagelforst. I don't think I butchered that too much. Nagelforst.
I think
1268.
you just nailed it.
And then it's Wildromantik. Wildromantik. How I threw that. I threw that. That's the Cyrillic, the Russian kind of.
Wild Romantik.
Rob, you can just hold the label up to the camera.
Wild Romantic.
Ja, it's the Wild Romantik.
Wild Romantic. This is, or if you take everything out, it's Wild Romantic.
That's East German, right? Yes.
Wild
way you
Romantic.
said
This is a Pinot Noir from Germany. Up until a few days ago, I can safely say I've never had a Pinot Noir from Germany. And they are starting to make some Pinot Noirs in Germany, I guess. And they're doing it with quality, because this is pretty darn good, I remember, from the other day. It's got the flying bird on the label.
Nagos Forest.
Nagos first.
Wild Romantik.
1268. I guess that's maybe when the winery came into being.
1268. That's when the Berlin Wall came down.
Do what?
That's when a Berlin Wall came down.
Which Herman Hesse novels have you been reading?
That is going to be modern South Brunswick history at its best.
Dude, name a year and a wall in Germany came down.
1987? No, 88.
88 was like the big one.
The big one.
Yeah, but I mean, name any other year and a wall came down in Berlin.
Wasn't that the same year of World Cup Italia?
Teresa,
Germany and,
hello, how are you?
Argentina got in a shootout.
Are we actually talking real shootout or just in...
and isn't that the one that Maradona scored a goal with his
You're
hand?
talking about Argentina.
So you're talking about shootout on the pitch. Well, it sounded like you were talking about like real shootout with...
No, that was England and Argentina.
That was the Falklands War.
So,
Which has never really been...
So Adrian, we would do background music, but we don't own the rights to any song. And
I'd give her sad trombone.
and wait a minute. Which one's sad trombone?
B, C, B, C. You guys let us know what you just heard.
Was that sad trombone?
I don't think that was anything. That's something.
Nick and I...
That's the music right there.
Yeah.
Unlicensed.
We are
This is high tech.
How do I turn it off?
You wait till it ends.
You
Okay.
hit it again, it restarts it.
Okay.
It's
That's
like-
definitely the theme music there.
And then this is...
Oh, that was a rim shot.
and then this is...
That was the fart noise.
Oh, okay. And then the first one.
he really thinks it
What's the
was.
first one?
That's applause, right?
Okay.
Oh my god.
So that's our music, Adrian. That's all we're allowed.
Did you hear anything? Now
She's
Nick,
laughing hysterically.
Nick and I are working on composing an entire series of songs.
Well,
To
it's
be
more like
played
a
in
rock
the
opera,
background.
but
So in other words,
It's an instrumental rock opera because neither one of us can sing that good.
we're just gonna have those 4 options.
No, we're gonna have like background music the entirety of the time.
well, I was actually.
I'm learning how to play the lute.
I've been working on a little bit of a. Just give me a second here. A little bit of a minuet, if you will.
So if
for
you're
intro
learning how to
music.
play the lute and you're learning what a minuet is, does that mean I have to learn how to
So-
sing to be the rock opera singer?
No, there's no sing. It's
No,
gonna
no,
be
it's
like
instrumental rock opera.
you know how John Tesh wrote the NBA song. You know, he was like, "Give me the basketball so I can dunk it." All right, we're gonna have a little bit of a thing like that, but it's gonna be somewhere between like
Those
with
were-
John
those were
Tesh.
lyrics?
I'm pretty sure
Give me the
authentically.
basketball and I can
Can
dunk
dunk
it.
it. Yes, yeah.
Dude, everyone's heard that one.
Can you give me the basketball? Yeah,
John Tesh.
yeah, that's totally. That's
Dribble,
totally.
dribble, it's a dribble.
So our
Yeah,
song
come
is
on.
somewhere in between that, the
John
Monday Night
Tesh.
Football tune, and the ESPN Sports Center blast. So it's just pretty much like, what you drinking now?
And that's where my melody comes in. It's like, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
It's all monotonal.
You know, so we've got like a whole thing composed.
So John Tesh did all this?
I've been. When I'm up in Aspen, him and I get talking.
Okay. Oh Lord.
When I'm up in Aspen.
Look, he's actually.
Jessica Walburn said you can just sing in Spanish.
Bésame mucho. It's one of my favorite songs.
Todo me parece bonito.
Se fue.
See.
Are you looking for like a verse of De Colores
Howdy.
here?
That's all the Spanish I know. Howdy.
You could do like Música de las Fronteras, you know? We could get the accordion going.
Adrian, you shouldn't be talking to me like that. You're married.
Oh.
Well, you can't say that and not say what was said, dude.
She said man more.
Yeah, mi amore.
Amor is a very specific kind of love.
Yes, that was, yeah.
All right. Back to the wine.
Rob, you're an amorous guy. You can
Back
understand.
to the wine.
Jesus.
Back to the wine. Let's
It's
go
more
back
of
to
a
the wine.
era type.
All right.
Take your own
All right,
camel.
so here's the thing. I know Josh is just cutting up because he is doing everything he can to avoid drinking this because Josh doesn't like Pinot Noir.
Is that what I'm drinking?
However,
Also, there's
Now?
is that a bubble or like a fly?
What'd you get in here?
if it's a fly, it came out
I
of your
think
beard.
it's just bubbles.
It's the second time you've been attacked by Jeff Goldblum today.
Someone changed the background on my laptop, and I'm trying to figure out who did it.
I wish it was me because that's pretty funny.
It was probably some fly on the wall.
It's Jeff Goldblum
It
looking
is
at
Jeff Goldblum staring you straight in your face.
I wish I
Like-
did it. I wish it were me.
Like
'cause
what?
that's funny.
What era of Goldblum are we talking? Like
And this is like
America's Got
This is-
Talent?
I don't know. I think this is kind of his apartments.com commercial look.
this is like prior to the new Jurassic Park.
Am I the only one who gets like old school?
This is salt and pepper. I mean,
Like,
this is salt and pepper.
Am I the
catfish.
only one who gets Howie Mandel and Jeff Goldblum confused? Because I
Yes.
swear to God,
The way they act and the way they talk and the glasses are very similar. One has hair.
Howie Mandel, bald, and totally petrified of germs.
Jeff Goldblum is the one with hair that looks like he'd roll around in the
And
muck.
and
hold on, I got this.
and
Let me see your
played a
hand.
fly that loves germs.
Let me see your hand. Okay, now if this is chaos, okay, and this drop of water hits chaos, right? Which way does it travel? It doesn't. It's beer.
Yeah. Sweet.
That was
totally
Goldblum.
understand.
That was.
Oh, I get it. You were doing a Goldblum impersonation. Okay, I got you.
Do you want to see my other Goldblum?
No.
If anyone has to do a Halle
It's
Mandel impression,
it's the one
you.
where I become the fly. Okay. Yeah, Rob, we could put a rubber glove on your head. You could do a Howie Mandel.
No.
You want me to get you some hand sanitizer?
No.
A couple of sanitary towels?
I want
Is
want
any of this going
both
the
of
direction you intended?
to be very quiet.
I felt like this was coming on.
And let's talk about wine.
I don't know what's up with this guy. He keeps saying these aren't the droids we're looking for, but they're totally the right ones.
So this is it's a little hotter. This is almost like I don't know. This shares like some terroir of like. I feel like what Oregon tries to imitate in Burgundy that New Zealand already does. It's like what these guys are after.
So I'm going to say nothing like Oregon Pinot Noir because it's not over extracted. This is Pinot Noir at Pinot Noir.
It is such a very specific flavor profile that doesn't even fit like the pre-established regions. Like,
I need to turn the open sign off. Our producers are already gone.
yeah, we should probably do that.
Sorry about that.
But it does taste really cool. It doesn't taste like any Pinot Noir I've had before. It's a very different terroir. The earthiness really gets me. There's like a mushrooming in here that's like a deep.
Yeah.
I'll buy the
I've
mushroom.
never had mushrooms out of the Black Forest, but I'm gonna assume that if you're
I don't even know if this is from the Black Forest, but I felt like to me this would be the taste. That would,
like the general smell of the loam of the Black Forest.
yeah.
Your ambient Black Forest experience.
Baden.
So I think it's a really cool flavor profile. As everyone knows who's been watching this for any period of time, I do typically characteristically hate Pinot Noirs.
But he's liking them more and more.
He's almost gonna have to drop the line.
Well, it's kind of one of those things where if you live with roommates who play heavy metal music every day, eventually you learn to find a couple of songs that you don't hate.
I love.
That's kind of the way Pinot Noir exists
So,
for me.
I love meeting people who live down here, and they're like, "I hate Brunswick County."
So I don't.
Like,
Josh
why
is
do
a
you live
roommate,
here?
but
Why
every
do you-
time I come into work, he's trying to get me into heavy metal. That's the thing. He's trying to make me find a song of his that I don't hate.
Dokken. Rob will listen to Dokken.
Yeah, I've got a Dawkins CD in my sob.
Sounds about right. Do you put the prosthetic ponytail on first, or?
Oh, you're talking about him putting it on. I was just imagining.
That would be a
trying to-
good look, Rob.
Just like a wig where it's inside, like
I would have to have.
on top.
I would have to have a band. I would have to have a band.
What do you
that's
even
strapped
attach
around-
it to?
I'd have to have a band that's strapped around my head, like a.
You have like a fake bandana,
like the damn
and,
Elk
it's-
King,
and then
the
like
damn
under
Elk
it's the
King.
fake ponytail.
Like Mr. Jones from Lord of the Rings, Mr. Smith.
Like, would you change your job? Would you become like a high school guidance counselor then, or
No.
no? No amount of ponytail would ever have you become that.
Here's
So-
Rob's third day as a high school guidance counselor. Hi, you know what? You're not going anywhere.
Ernie.
I
is
heard
on
the
there.
big urn.
So Ernie, I'm glad you're here because. Good night, Adrian.
Good night, Adrian.
Bye, Adrian.
She's got to get a kid to sleep. You guys talk too long. Where's he going? I told him.
I don't.
Told him he should have gone before the show started. So
I do actually really think this is cool.
on the nose, this has got bright fruit to it, and I'm talking like cherries and raspberries and
really red fruit, like
Yeah.
bright red fruit. Everything you think of. There's like a smoky aspect to it.
a little bit. But I think it's more earthy, like you were saying earlier, with the mushroom.
You have like the mushroom and like the loam and all that. I think there's like a paprika aspect to it that I'm picking up on. You think like Hungarian sweet smoked paprika. Just like a hint.
No, Gene or Ernie, we weren't glad that you were her. Okay, yeah, we're glad you're here because, like,
Am I distracting you?
yeah, like we're always glad you're here, Ernie.
Yeah,
Between you and Gene, we're always glad you guys are here. Got to keep Adrian in check. I can say that now that she's gone
It's
because
getting very personal.
she would get mad.
Ernie and Gene are kind of like the guys sitting on the front row.
Yeah, they saw the whole shit show last week.
Oh, they were
Oh,
both.
yeah,
They were both
I mean-
on board for that, huh?
It's
Yeah.
a shame I can't see it.
That's right. I can show you the raw footage if you want, but yeah,
You know what? Some
you probably don't
some
want.
dogs are better left buried.
I feel like what Rob's not telling us is like how long the live broadcast was off.
Some dogs are better left buried.
Anyways, it's
Why?
good to see you, guys. Glad you're here. This wine, it's highly drinkable. With most German wines, that's what I encounter. Is the first thing is it's just very drinkable, easy to palate, very drinkable.
And I don't know if it's because it's German, but the food that's coming to mind is boar, and I think we talked about it in the
Kind of runs through our whole Black Forest thing.
yeah.
now.
I think we talked about it in the tasting too. That was one of the things that just popped in our head.
I'll tell you, like, there's only been a few times I've had boar compared to pig, which is effectively the same thing. Boar,
Boar,
they-
what
they
is
eat
a feral pig?
They eat a few crazier things. A little bit less restraint, so you get a little bit crazier.
More mushrooms, more acorns.
Yeah. When I was in a season,
I love shellfish,
I
by the
had
way.
wild boar salami, and like the flavor profile of that changed my mind and the entire concept I had about cured meats. Like that salami with like the freshly harvested local truffles. Like it's like slivers of local truffles and wild boar salami on a sandwich. That'll change your life, man. When you taste like some crazy stuff like that, like completely 100% local, and I'd love to have this with some like Black Forest wild boar. Just like two dudes show up with some vacuum packed sealed like boar chunks. I don't know.
It's never going to be a good thing when two dudes just show up with something vacuum sealed.
Vacuum sealed boar chunks. Come on.
No.
Are we still on air?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I haven't.
And we cook them.
The board chunks are the two guys.
Just bring the
The boar
ribs.
chunks.
I don't care if you throw the ribs in a shopping bag, a Kroger bag would do fine. Just, you know. Can we just
one thing? One thing about this wine versus like an Oregon wine. Wines tend to be over extracted. They bring out all the sweetness of the fruit. This keeps the dryness of the fruit in there.
I do get some sweetness though. I definitely get.
Yeah,
fruit,
but it's like the real fruit. It's not like pushing the sugar level.
This tastes more like actual wine.
So if I recall, the distributor was talking about how the production site claims that it echoes terroir of Marlborough or whatever or something like that.
Huh? I missed that. But I mean, that's not saying you're wrong because there's so much that happens in those.
Sounded
tastings
like
that-
you just said I was wrong.
No. There's so much that happens in those tastings that I definitely could have missed it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so if you picked up on something,
if you think about it equatorially, though, I mean, it would be.
Do you want me to?
Kinda
I could pull out
like
the
the
notes.
opposite
I
of the
probably
ec-
have notes
ec-
from it.
the opposite side of the equator.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, like,
I do remember him talking about Marlboro a lot, though.
depending on the distance.
Newsy
from the
like.
equator,
It's I wrote newsy like.
Yeah.
So I think he definitely said something about that.
because if you're at the same degree
Branson.
longitude,
Thanks, Branson.
if you're at the same degree longitude away from the equator, you basically have the same environment.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking southern
Well,
Germany,
not
northern
necessarily.
Germany.
Well, depending on the rotation of the Earth, but where
That
Germany
particular
would be located
year.
compared to.
Isn't the rotation of the Earth going to be a constant, no matter what side of the equator you're on?
The wobble.
direction
You
of
got to
the-
remember the
The
wobble.
direction of the turning doesn't change.
And it's an ellipsis.
The
Being
planet itself is rotating. The rotation.
the
doesn't
planet
change.
itself is an egg, a wobbling egg at that. So
But it still rotates the same direction.
it's a misshapen
It's
trajectory.
not going to turn left tomorrow.
Let's hope not.
No, it takes about 13 years to turn left. Ask the Mayans.
Dark joke. All I'm saying is that I could see where Germany could be similar terroir to Marlborough, New Zealand, based on how the Earth rotates and where they sit.
I was just gonna say, like, there's probably an altitudinal zonation going on with a similarity of sediment, you know, in a valley. So, like, all it would take is just like a similarly oriented valley. But
So
Josh
we're
does
talk-
have
we're
a
talking
point
about the Alps, right?
that,
Now,
yeah, we're talking about the north slope of the Alps. So
are the
what we're talking
yeah,
about is
I
a
don't-
river
I don't-
that's
I
flowing
don't know,
north
Ernie,
versus.
because I would tend to agree with you.
We're also dealing with the prime meridian here.
Ernie says, "Wow, are they smoking weed? The Earth is an egg." LOL. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, it is. It's egg shaped.
I agree
at
with
best.
Ernie. I don't know what they did before I got here.
The Earth rotates at a speed fast enough that shape naturally becomes distorted in space. There's not a lot of resistance outside of it.
And the Earth is mostly
So
water
the
on
rock
its
flows
surface,
kind of
so
stretched.
yeah.
So the Earth is technically a little bit of an egg shape.
Yeah. And the orbit itself has a little bit of wobble. That's why it's 365, not 360 days.
However, isn't the wider part stretched at the equator versus the poles because that's being pulled by the moon?
Yes.
You would think so.
Hey,
Technically, the
Rob,
southern
turn
hemisphere.
Agnes side
Technically,
spin.
the southern hemisphere has more water than the
pretty
northern
sure that's a
hemisphere,
pixie song.
and so actually, the part of the globe that swells happens to be the southern hemisphere.
See what you did, Ernie?
It's not round.
Water responds to
It's
centripetal
not
force
anyway,
more
flat,
than.
and it's
we were-
not
hence the
round.
tides.
His reply is, "Thank you, Tommy Chong." So,
Next up is Itchy Scratchy. He's an undefeated wrestler.
so we were talking
Class.
about mountains.
Class.
Now, if we're talking about the Alps for Germany, are those glacial formed mountains or are those volcanic formed?
Both. It's
Are they?
diastrophic and catastrophic. So what happened was there was a uprising in the crust. That's, if you recall, there's volcanoes in Italy.
Yep.
That same like and Greece
Kind of big one go
and
boom and buried.
Right.
There's
cities.
also volcanic springs in Iceland.
Where those volcanoes are
Kind
rising
of
out
big
of the
one went boom
crust.
not too long ago.
Years ago, the mountains that are making the Piedmont of northern Italy were once those mountains, way years ago. And so they've been pushing and getting folded up against those mountains. So, yes, they formed somewhat similar to the way our Appalachian or Rocky Mountain chain formed. But if we recall, at the beginning of both of those, and I should say all three of these, there were actually volcanic activity and upthrusts involved, not just continental drift.
So,
Then
Appalachians
we
are-
gained altitude through that catastrophic formation, basically uprising of crust, basalt upthrusts, as well as volcanic
So-
activity, and then the glaciation period happened.
all right. With that being said,
That's the
New Zealand.
diastrophic. New Zealand also is a combination of a catastrophic diastrophic.
Same terroir then. You're right, Josh.
Island chain of tectonic activity created primarily by volcanic.
Within a glacial zone.
Yeah, it's basically a mirror image of each other.
Well, Josh, I hate saying it, but you're right then.
The
Same terroir.
only thing it's missing is the salt air.
Well, just make sure.
Okay, because there's no
Make
big
sure
C's
that
right
when
there.
you edit this, you send me the clip of you saying I'm right.
That's actually all we need.
You
Can we
say,
put
"You're
that?
right? And then I just want that clip, and then
We could get rid of sad trombone and just put a little cue of Rob saying, "You're right. You know what? You're right."
yeah, effectively.
Was that sad
I
trombone?
think that was sad trombone. That did it.
It doesn't matter.
Ernie, was that sad trombone?
But we should probably get to ratings before we just devolve into like a JRE experience.
Although,
Okay.
We didn't really get too huge on food. I know Rob mentioned a little bit.
Yeah, I mentioned the boar.
You just like a whole roasted boar, apple in the mouth,
Throw it on there and give me a chunk.
a boar chunk. Does that come like in
Yeah.
a vacuum
Nice.
sealed bag or
No, there's those two guys.
on a stick?
Those two guys are nowhere near.
It's a nice meaty boar chunk.
Boar chunks. Okay, so goes good with boar chunks, apparently. I'm just going to throw this out. I wouldn't mind trying this, and I'm just saying trying this with some smoked blue.
Fish?
Cheese?
No, smoked bluefish. If you guys have had some candied smoked bluefish, and maybe there's some like
No.
weird
can't say that.
inland brook trout, like smoked trout.
Smoked blues are good. Smoked trout's really good.
Like I just think it might hit with this.
Cooking with blue gets really weird because you got to make sure you clean the bloodline
Field
out
dressing,
just
yeah.
right.
Are we? So if we're talking smoked fish,
Smoked fish.
something that maybe more.
Is it kipper a smoked fish?
Well, I was
A
thinking
kipper is a specific way
salmon.
of preparing a herring.
either salmon or.
Well, I'm with Josh here, leaning
know.
maybe
I-
more
Jo-
towards the
I
whitefish.
don't know.
Josh's
trout, mountain trout.
smoked sardines or whatever they were.
I don't know that I would go salmon with this.
Unlike an Oregon
I think
or
I
a
would
New
lean
Zealand.
towards, like herring and alewife and trout and just slightly smaller fish than salmon
Yeah.
would traditionally be.
I'm with him on
The
this.
trout is basically like a river salmon. The trout is basically salmon that doesn't
Brook-
see the salt.
Brook trout is a landlocked salmon. There was catastrophic formation.
You
Pushed
look-
them up
you
to
look at the
elevation,
facial
and then they got
profile.
stuck.
You look at
So-
the
Always
facial
gets back to
profile.
the damn catastrophic formation.
Yeah, but you look at the facial profile. Trout is basically salmon that never hits the salt water. So,
Yeah.
I think trout has a gentler flavor because once they hit the salt water, they pick up whatever's in the ocean.
They become salmon.
Yeah. So it's like an Amish person that goes on Rumspringa.
Takes 7 years to become a salmon.
Yeah. Sometimes
It only takes one day for an Amish girl to go on Rumspringa.
That's right. It only takes one hook to become dinner.
You know, like sometimes they even come back.
That's right.
And you know that's how you get your trout and your salmon.
That was just well done. That was really good. That's good. We're actually gonna capture that moment and put it online for the archives, since you all like it so much.
Alrighty. So
Library of Congress is already calling. They want a copy.
we are doing ratings then, huh?
Talk about anything.
So the first beer we did tonight
Anything.
was from Flying Dog.
175 was
The
great.
Fear.
Fear.
350 for a 12-ounce bottle.
Listen, it's my first pumpkin beer of the year, and it might be my favorite. Does that mean I'm gonna have to drink a ton of other
I
pumpkin
think you're going to
beers
have to try the
find
rest
out?
of them. Yeah.
He said 175.
He's not even talking about it. He just wants to go
I'm
straight
gonna
to
say
his rating.
17.
Wow, you guys are just... All right, so for me, the only problem I had with this beer was it gave me wet belches
Yes.
all night long. Couldn't really get a good one out.
Well, it made me sneeze, so there's that.
Yeah, it's an Imperial Pumpkin Ale, so it's a 9.0 ABV. I think the pumpkin on it was really nice. The allspice on the palate was definitely pronounced, and I think it showed its ABV just on the back side. I think it mixed with that allspice and made it a little hot on the back end. I like it. I'm going to try the rest of the pumpkin stuff now because this is the first one I've had of the year. And so I think it's going to be a 1.6 for me just because I hope that the rest of the pumpkins are showing really nice as well.
Oh, cool.
Brings to Nick, Edmund's Oast. The chocolate
Yes.
caramel
Let's talk about it.
brown ale.
Let's talk about Oast, baby.
16 ounce,
Yes.
4.75.
Oh, it's not. I drank all the Oast. Rob, did you keep your
No,
sample
I
around?
saved some.
Why don't you hit lead off on this one?
All right, so I'll do that. 4.75, 5.8% ABV, 16 ounce can. Caramel, right on the nose. Chocolate, a little overlay there. Very similar to the label of, what did you say? It was a Rolo. Chocolate, just
Copyright.
enough chocolate to hold on to the caramel.
Trademark.
And I think that's definitely there on the nose.
Mars candy, I believe.
Yeah, and I think their phrase is a chocolate-covered caramel candy. I think that's...
On the palate, same. Chocolate is just there coating the tongue. That caramel is just right underneath that. This is a really good beer. Again, I had not had that yet, and I'm probably going to have more. This is a 1.85 for me. This is really good.
8.5. Jeez. Josh, do you agree with him?
What I'd actually have to say about the chocolate caramels, the only reason I'm not giving this a 2, because, you know, if they're going to label it brown ale, maybe make it a little bit more brown. I don't know. Yeah, if you have figured out how to capture that flavor and profile in that can that way, figure out a way just to tint it just a hint.
You'd rather have the chocolate tint so it was kind of encapsulating the caramel?
Next thing you know, he's gonna say he wants a gold foil wrapped around each little sip.
So I'm giving it a 1.99.
Wow.
But imagine if like that came out of the can looking like a Newcastle, and you just drink caramel, which is how a Rolo hits your palate. You eat the chocolate.
Now you got me wishing.
So you basically have this mind thing going on. Like, no, it's a really good beer. I can't knock it. Like, I'm being picky when I say that I'm not giving it a 2.0. It's a really solid beer.
So this is one of those moments where preference might override on rating. I wasn't getting bitters, and that's fine. It's a brown ale that's flavored like chocolate and caramel, so that's not a mislabeling. But I still feel like, although it was a well-crafted beer with flavors, I still felt like I just wanted like a little more beer. I don't know, but that's just me personally.
Yeah, you're a hophead.
I'm
You're
just
gonna look for.
I mean, I'm the guy who's drinking the Ommegang Neon right now.
You want to taste your regret.
Yeah, I like tasting that. Yeah, it's great reminder. However, though, I'm not gonna like rule this thing down to like a low level. I actually feel very confident about giving it like a 1.7 rating because as flavored ales go, I'm usually not too responsive to them. Outside of like just a slight fruit addition. I'm always down for some chocolate. I love seeing what happens with chocolate and beer. Getting caramel involved. This was a really good idea. These guys are really on to something. And what I like about Edmund Oast is whether it's like the peanut butter and jelly or the blackberry raspberry sour or the one we had recently with the grapes in there, the crushing spirits. They make really good product.
Are we keeping Josh up past his bedtime?
He's past his bedtime, for sure. It's a very good, drinkable beer. We could split hairs on the final, 3 points about, do I like this flavor? Is this what I want to have happen? There's not much negative I can say about tasting a Rolo in a brown ale. There's just... You can't really get upset about that. Yeah. I was left searching for a little more, maybe I just wanted, a little bit of that chocolate nib in there or something, just to really, get that bitter in tune to play off that caramel. That's all for me. That's, 1.7. I'll stick to it.
Okay. So that brings us around to the wine. The wine tonight is the Wild Romantic.
Nagelkreist.
From Nagels Forst. It is a Pinot Noir from Germany. Must say it's the first German Pinot Noir I've had. $20 a bottle. Do you want to start off or you want me to go?
I can start. There is a common theme with German wines we've tasted on this show. And I might even just throw
Also, it's a Trocken, by the way.
It is a Trocken. Yeah, we were joking about these terms earlier, which does mean dry wine. There's an amazing drinkability that just goes with a lot of these German wines that we've tried.
Kevin West. Mr. Cisco.
Oh, wow, yeah. Nice.
Kevin.
That's not Kevin with the St. Louis Cardinals tattoo, is it? Okay. Just had to check.
I don't check out guys' tattoos. I'm sorry. The wine.
I rated it something. You guys remember what I said?
Nope.
Yeah, were you paying attention?
No, we
barely.
were paying attention, but then Kevin came up.
Well, it was... You want me to say it again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is going to follow the theme on the show tonight. I'm going to give it a 1.7. And Josh already knew where I was going with that. I explained a 1.7 through and through.
Josh?
Yeah, so the Nagels first. Forced.
Nagels Forest. Oh.
Navels first. Oh, absolutely. No, this is a really cool Pinot
Nigel.
Noir.
Is it Nigel?
Oh, Nigel's first. Absolutely.
Rob's like, don't.
Nigel's first, Wild Romantic.
So it is Black Forest. Huh.
That's a wine belch there.
Wine belch means it didn't feel good.
Might be a little smoked wings in there too.
What I will have to say is that
You
this is
ate
actually a
those
really
3
solid
days
wine.
ago.
Everyone here knows
Had leftovers
that I don't like Pinot Noirs, and I'm never going to be the one to show up to your party with a Pinot Noir in hand.
Oh, you really should though.
We're going to throw a Pinot Noir party.
If I do, I'm either playing a joke on you, or I have been taken over by some kind of mind slug.
You mentioned doing a little bit as a real-life avatar.
Yeah, if a mind slug gets inside of my brain and takes it over, then I might buy a Pinot Noir and bring it to your party. And if I do that, please.
We tried no less than 3 Pinot Noirs this last week's wine tasting, and Josh liked 2 of them.
Yeah,
Just want to say that for the record.
Just
if
saying,
you
I
asked
think
me,
I think the mind slug is there.
I would
I
say
don't know which one of you dropped the mind slug off at the
it
office.
seemed like Josh liked Pinot
the
Noir.
Animorphs would fight them.
So you like this a lot.
I like it a good bit, yes. I'm going to give it a 1.65.
You like
You like a lot.
A couple of the other Pinot Noirs you've had over the past week have been better to me than this.
I'll be honest, the
I
Pinot
just
Noir
like this
shelf,
because it doesn't taste like all the other
Pinot Noir shelf has been selling. There's like 1, maybe 2 bottles of the Marlboro left. There's like half a dozen of the Oregon bottles left.
This is a cool bottle to pick up. If
The
you
Petaluma
wanna
is
bring a
still
Pinot
crushing.
Noir to a party, and you also don't like Pinot Noir like me. So like you win, like you can have a glass of it, and no one who likes Pinot Noir is going to complain because like it also tastes like
Also,
Pinot
no
Noir.
one can tell what's in your glass. Like if you're enjoying Pinot Noir, you could just tell people you're drinking the cab.
So
Oh, that's nice. Do you have a cab?
So here's the thing. Josh, I've come to figure out
That's an overstatement.
he likes Old World Pinot versus American Pinot.
I don't like our dirt.
He definitely appreciates the terroir of Old World. He likes French and now he likes German Pinot. So no problem with that.
Jawohl.
No problem with that at all.
Like I said, I like Old World dirt.
That's right.
Old dirt. It's that Dolomite.
This is a $20 Pinot. This is a not introductory level, but this is going to be, take it to a dinner party that you're going to have 2 or 3 bottles on the table. Not a high end dinner party, but yeah.
It's solid. It's tasty.
I mean, it's a good little thing. It because it's from Germany. It's a nice little talking point. Not a lot of German Pinot coming out. Not a lot of German. I mean, Germany's not really known for a lot of red wines.
Here's the funny thing. People talk about German engineering, German process, German technology. One thing I happen to know about German wine is if you can make it, bottle it, and drink it, Germany's happy with you. Okay? It's not like, oh, did you follow our prestigious method? No, did you come up with a drinkable wine? Cool, slap a label on it, pay your tax, and sell that sucker.
It's one of the places where the beer laws are far stricter than the wine laws.
Yeah, it's almost more difficult to make a beer in Germany than a wine.
You could,
Except for the fact that grapes are...
if there's booze in it, you can do any number of things to
There you go.
whatever's in the jug, and it'd probably show up. So.
For me, I'm going to go 1.5 on this. I think it's a decent little addition to our Pinot Noir shelf. It fits right there on the lower mid-range, and I think it's a nice little selection.
Definitely lower, middle, upper.
I think it's
Lower middle upper.
lower middle. It's somewhere between the top and the bottom.
The fruit is there, but it's not overly sweet like extracted American wines, or extracted American Pinot Noir specifically. So it does have drier notes. There are a few more tannins than what you're going to find on American Pinot Noir. And the fruit is bright red fruit. You're talking cherry, you're talking raspberry. I wouldn't even go plum. I think plum's a little too far to the sweet side.
Maybe raspberry.
But you're getting that tart sweet, the just barely sweetness from the tart fruit. And like I said, 1.5 for me. It's not a big wow factor, but it's definitely a good little wine that I can drink on a regular basis.
Sounds like it's got a little ramble fruit in there.
Probably so.
Ramble fruit, not bramble.
Well,
ramble fruit.
The bee came off of my leg, and now I'm just rambling on. So with that, we're gonna wrap it up. And did I catch it?
That was good. That was good.
Josh has something that he likes saying every week when he's sober.
It took me a second.
And
when I'm sober.
Why don't you?
Why don't you give it a clean shot this time?
Oh, clean shot. Absolutely. Yes. If you are watching us on YouTube and not watching us live over on Facebook, please do remember to look down just below the video and keep scrolling down and post a really awesome
down below all those recommendations.
Defending us from any weird ones down there.
Yes.
And in the course of doing that, please do remember to also order us a pickled okra on Amazon Prime.
You got it spoiled, Jess.
Yeah, you got to ship it to yourself within 2 days. It's got to be within 2 days. Because if it's not within 2 days, you're not getting your money's worth.
Nick will accept Gardeniera from any one of the five Chicago counties.
Be pickled okra that shows up.
If anyone can find a Gardeniera with pickled okra in it, that would be supreme.
Gardeniera and pickled okra are acceptable. Also, if you would like to send us a jar of pickled eggs, Rob would really be appreciative.
Yep, very much.
Oh,
so.
pickled eggs. Yeah.
Yeah,
The pink ones. The ones that have been there for a
The
while.
bright red.
Yeah, those are good.
They actually kind of are.
Where the vinegar has already seeped into the yolk. Oh, yeah.
Vinegar on yolk, yes.
So we have weird tastes.
I would.
But if you're watching us,
yes, Jess, you did start something.
Do like, comment, and subscribe. Below.
Yeah. It's subscribe.
If you don't tell
like,
us
comment.
what you're thinking, we can't tell you how we think about what you're thinking. And now we have communication issues, and that is the fault of so many relationships out there.
It's like the mine shaft gap.
We need to have good communication. Everyone listening to this.
Get it out in the open.
All right, guys. With that, I'm going to get out in the open that we're done for this week. And
Rob got the bee off his leg. He's running away.
We'll see you next week.
He's hopping over beat and check up on what C's doing.
We'll see you next week. Well, hopefully we'll have just as entertaining, if not more of an entertaining
That
show
puts
next
us
week.
on the D list.
You guys have a good week. We will see you then.
Well, he's gonna
Later.
kick the F out of me if I don't